I think you are in mute.
Oh, sorry, I was not okay. So basically, MVC is nothing but model, view, and controller, where if model is nothing but Java code, okay, or it could be a database. So if model wants to talk to the view, okay, so if model wants to talk to the view, then everything will be done using the controller here. So for example, I will just take it's actually model. So I have to take this out and I have to put it here this side. MVC is nothing but model view controller, where controller will be lying in between model and view. All the code that you want to talk has to go by the controller, then you can talk to the view. So for example, model, I have a model Pojo student database. I have student .java file have. I want to put the details in an HTML file. Then everything has to be done using a controller file, which could be again a Java file. So again, if you have made some changes in the view, you have changed some student address, then it has to again, that change has to pass to the controller, then it will be reflected and saved in the model. Okay, so everything has to go via the controller. This is a design pattern. If you are aware of design pattern, so the MVC is a design pattern. Okay, so with this idea, let's see how Spring has done the MVC. Actually, this is out of your syllabus, but since you asked for it, I'm just showing it for you. I'll not do line by line coding, but then I will show you how you can add or how you can achieve this. So there is one Spring MVC project. Okay, so this is Spring MVC project, which is nothing but a Maven project. And in this Maven project, we need to add some dependencies of Spring MVC support. Let me show you what are the dependencies. So if you have a look here, yeah. So Spring MVC, this is one dependency that is required. Okay. So apart from this, I have a adder kind of a so I have a controller here. Controller is nothing but it creates an object, ready object for you. Okay, so this adder is nothing but it is a class which has some mappings. Mapping in the sense URL. It has a slash URL and it accepts two parameter T1 and T2. Those two parameters. And using T1 and T2, we are storing it in a local variable int I, int j. What I'm trying to do here is I will first show you the output of this. Then we will go ahead and see, we have to configure a server also here. See, there will be a Tomcat server. I will show you the server view. We need to install the Tomcat. Okay. So in the servers, if you observe, there is one Tomcat that I have installed. Tomcat is a server. If you are doing it in Spring, no, then you have to install it. Whereas in Spring Boot, things are ready-made for you. It has an embedded Tomcat server. You don't have to do all these steps. It is very simple in Spring Boot. So Tomcat server you have to install. Then you have to add the server here. See, new server and all that you have to configure. And then, so if you have to execute such a kind of a project, then run on server. Then I will choose my localhost Tomcat server. Next. Yeah, this is the project which I have to execute. This is the one. This has been selected. I will click finish. So Tomcat is getting started. Tomcat server is nothing but it's a server which is used to load our web applications. See, my web browser has opened. You can open it even in the Chrome browser also, or this Eclipse also has a browser. You can open it here also. So it basically has, I will show you where this has been done. This page is an JSP or HTML page it can be. So this is T1 text field, this is T2 text field. So for example, I give 4 and 5 and I click on submit query. Then it shows me result as 9. Okay, so how is it showing 9? Let's see. So this is a login page. So you can think of a login page also, where if you give here username and password and submit query, if you say login successful, that also can be changed. So for example, here if I go to every such a kind of a such a kind of a MVC or a web thing will have web app folder. Okay, this is the web app folder. So for example, here here 1 minute, let me just check what happened. I have to relaunch here. Are you able to follow? So if I launch here,
Yeah.
see, I will give some numbers here, 45 plus 4. I will do a submit query. It will give me a result. So how is it working? So basically we need such a kind of a web page, either HTML, JSP or any kind of a page. JSP is nothing but it is a combination of Java code and HTML code. You can write HTML code also there. You can write Java code also there. So first we need a text field. These two are text fields. This is a button. So let's see how this has been done. So any web project you want to develop, it will have a web app folder. This is a must required. Under SRC, main will be there. Under that we need to have a web app folder. Only then it will be recognized as a web project. Okay, so web app folder will be there. Then here if you see, then I have web.xml. Web.xml is also important. And here if you observe, this is one file which I have created to display this particular page, index.jsp. Any name will be fine. You can make it even an HTML file also. So if I open it with the JSP editor, see it basically has HTML code. So it is a form action add. Add is the action which you perform. Then there is a text field with the name T1. There is another text field with the name T2. Then there is a submit button. And this is what I have here, T1 and T2. So this is the front end view part. Okay. Apart from that, there is, I told you, one controller will be there, one model will be there. So let's see what is the controller. So a model I don't have it here because there is no, I'm not adding any data to the Pojo or something, but if you can have a model also, you can connect it to the database also. So here controller is nothing but, see, this is a class whose object you want to create. Okay, and here form action, whatever you have added, no, add, that is the action which will happen on requesting the mapping is nothing but it's a URL /add. If you give, then this method will be called, this entire method. So what is this method doing is, it is accepting one parameter T1, which is here this particular value, and there is T2 is 4. Okay, and it is T1 will be stored in int I, and at request param, this is also an annotation, and T2 is being stored in int j. And then system.out, this is only for my information that I have given system.out.println, not required. Here it is just printing message. And here I'm actually adding the values. This int I, which is the value of T1, will be stored here. T2 will be stored in int j. I'm trying to add both the values. I'm trying to show up k. So how is k displayed over this page? If I say submit query, it is showing result 49. How is it taken care? So here there is one class called as model and view. This model and view, this sends the output back to the view page. Okay, so what I mean view page is nothing but I want to show a display page, which is again a JSP in my case, and I just add that object to MV, which is result and K. So basically I'm sending K to the view page, my view page display.jsp. Okay, so if I show you here, there is one page, it is called as, in the views it is there, and if I open it, see here I am just showing result, this line result, and the value is result here. This is Spring expression language, but if you see result is the value, here the K value is temporarily stored in result when you are sending it back to the view. So this is how we are getting the result. This is MVC in using the Spring framework. Whereas I'll close this. Any doubts here? Before I close, I will open my STS and show you the Spring Boot way of doing the things. Okay, so if I open my STS, yeah, so you have to install the STS. I have given the guidelines previously. Let it launch. So in Spring Boot, no, things are very simple. We do the Spring Boot stuff in Spring Tool Suite, and again this is very similar to Eclipse. Let it launch, then I'll show you it is launching. So let me plug in my charger. Just give me a moment. In Spring Boot, things are, everything is ready made. You just have to install STS, and most of the things are much easier. I think I had done one already. The other day I had showed you on, I think, welcome something I had done. Can you see my STS?
Yes.
Okay. So for creating a Spring Boot project, what you have to do is simply first install the STS tool, and then file, new, Spring Starter Project. Starter project is nothing but it will help us to add the dependencies automatically. So we need the internet connection as a must for this. We need to give the artifact ID, which is the project name. We can give a package name. Okay, and then click next. Here this is available here. See, things whatever you want to add as dependency, you can just say web. Okay, and then you will get the Spring Web. See, Spring Web. So if you just click on this, things are ready made for you. You can just click finish, then it will create a project, something like this. Okay, then we can go on adding. It will have only this particular what do you say, this particular file, and we need to create again the src web app folder. See, this web app folder we have to create. Again, index.jsp, according to your need you can make up a index.jsp. So which is nothing but again an HTML file. I'm just saying welcome to Spring Boot training. I have just given one message here. And one thing to note here is I have not installed any Tomcat server. See, in my server view, nothing is there. So who is giving me the server? Let me show you. If I go to Maven dependencies, since it is using the Spring Web, see Tomcat is inbuilt, or it is called as an embedded server, which is ready-made in Spring Boot. Okay, so this is one thing which you have to remember. No, you can customize it, you can change it. If you want to change to some other, then there is one file which is called as application.properties file, where you can mention your own properties. You can give customization for the Spring Boot project. So the same thing I will show you. I have a view here. I need a controller. Who is the controller? This is my controller is a controller. Controller is nothing but it has the objects, or it will guide us for the URLs, loading the URLs. So /hello is my URL, and when I have the mapping as /URL /hello, then index.jsp is what you have to call, which is nothing but index.jsp contains one message here. Welcome to Spring Boot training. Let me execute and show you. Run as, this time you have to use Spring Boot application. Okay, because it is a Spring Boot controller. It is loading, it is launching. 34 45%, 100%. Yeah. So since we are using Spring Boot, it will give this all these messages. And once my things are loaded, see, embedded Tomcat server, and then it has been started. Tomcat server has been started in 8080, and it is executing. So now we have to ourselves go to our browser. In my browser, I have to type localhost 8080 and /hello. See, I'm getting the message, welcome to. You can have login page also, username, password, that also can be done. Okay, so why I have given /hello here, the mapping here that I have given here is in my controller, it is using the mapping for /hello, that is the reason. Okay, and when you call /hello, call this index.jsp, which is containing welcome to Spring Boot training. The same message has been printed here. So this is how we can minimize our development time by using the Spring Boot STS. It is, everything is ready made. We don't have to, we can skip the configuration of the server. We can skip the adding the dependencies to pom.xml. All that you can always reduce. Okay, so some things, so it is Spring Boot, no, it has embedded server, embedded database also, which is called as H2. Let me show you one example. So here I'm using a H2 as the database, but otherwise if you want to change it to some other database, it can always be done. It can always be done using this application.properties file. Any customization if you want to do, then definitely application.properties is the place where you can do all the customization and change according to your need. Is that fine, Nikhil?
Yeah.
Okay, so I will stop the recording.